Hi, I'm Max with Meter. Let me jump over into FOIA Studio. FOIA Studio is our new product that was made specifically for the FOIA officer. The browser is actually downloading the AI model locally onto my machine, and that is because our integration of AI, and I'll just get this out of the way, it is local. So everything's going to happen on your machine, actually in your GPU. It's never even going to leave your machine, let alone touch the cloud. I would like to introduce a hypothetical scenario. So I'm going to take on the identity of a FOIA officer, actually within the Army and within the DoD. So, I receive a lot of requests. I have to manage all of my requests. In this one, it's a somewhat sensitive request. It actually seems to allege, it's from a journalist, and it seems to allege some type of secret activity related to radiation that is taking place in and around the Grand Canyon. So this is my FOIA request letter. I will use it in this workflow. There are other files here that I just want to introduce really fast. This one assumes that the IT department has already done some sort of initial scrape for the files that are responsive to that letter. These are just boilerplate standard documents from the DoD. For this next part, I do actually want to drag my FOIA letter into the system, and you'll see why. It's going to pull out the most important parts of the letter. This actually was with AI semantic analysis. You can see it was very fast. And what it did is it pulled out the most important pieces. It's the DoD, it's the Army, we have the date, we know the phrases that we need to look for. So from this point, I'm just going to ask the system to actually pull the relevant files off the server. You can see what it's doing is it's moving through and it's entering the keywords that are relevant. Responsive is the legal word. It's also entering the date. It's also entering the agency. So even in a few moments, we've scoped down from nearly 2 million records to around 2,000. So for this next zone, I am going to actually pull in my different files. Remember, these are the ones that have already been scoped by the IT department. It just needs to upload and ingest the documents themselves. So I'm just going to drag and drop in the zip file. At this point, I have everything I need, so I'm going to hit the Analyze button. What's going to happen is the system is going to move through each individual record. It's going to apply the FOIAX score, which is the FOIA extractive analysis. But what it does is it goes through each individual exception and judges them on those 4 critical rubrics, and then makes a suggestion for each individual file. From a legal perspective, as the FOIA officer, I do need to go through and individually review these. Where the AI can really help is it has already made suggested dispositions for each of these, and actually it goes beyond that. If I open these up, you will see that it actually makes suggested redactions where appropriate. Already I can see by looking at this, there are apparently, according to the AI for this individual document, there are not 1 but 3 different exemptions that have been violated, that this would make this a redacted document. So the orange highlights, for instance, you can see that there were classification markers found. So what it wants to do is it wants to essentially black out all of these lines. The blue indicates that there may be some type of law enforcement signals detected. So essentially it's suggesting a lot of redactions. Let's say for this one that I think it looks good and I don't have any other redactions that I'd like to make. So I'm actually going to hit the Apply Redactions button. You can see what were formerly highlights are turned into censored redactions, and this one is officer confirmed, so I can move on. If I move back to my queue, I can see now that I have reviewed 1 out of 1,300. Still at 0%, but getting a little bit better. Let's maybe just look at one more. You can see this looks like a suggested release. I open up this document. I'm seeing that no violations of any kind were found. So it's suggesting that we go ahead and release this one instead of redact or withhold. So I'm going to do that one too. You can see that this is officer confirmed, and now I have 2. Let's just do one more while we're still here. Here's an interesting one. I can see one that is suggested not release or redact, but completely withhold. So I'm going to open this one up. It's found very severe law enforcement signals detected, high fidelity, and this has pushed the sensitivity score, the FOIAX score, above the 70% threshold, which means that this one, it thinks should be completely withheld rather than redacted. I'm going to agree with the system here and withhold this document. There I go. I already have 3 reviewed documents. Maybe at this point I want to export and share the work that I have already done. So I'm going to hit the export button. It is preparing a PDF with all of the necessary redactions, but it also creates like a really nice cover page and some basic analytics for the top. So this would be a very easy way for you to share out your progress for these really, really complex FOIA cases that can last months or frankly even years. Thank you so much for your time today. I hope this was an interesting and compelling demo, and I look forward to sharing more in the future. Thank you.